Hello everyone, Beastie here. I'm back with another video. Today I'll be talking about ways to increase your APM, whether you're playing StarCraft 2, any RTS game, or even MOBAs. I'm gonna give you guys some tips on how to improve APM over time. There's no real magic trick. I'm not gonna tell you some secret and suddenly tomorrow you're gonna have 100 more APM. That's something you need to work on. But in time, with these, if you use the tips I'm about to give you, the APM will increase and hopefully improve your gameplay. So first things first is the last thing you want to develop while gaming is carpal tunnel. So what I always do when before I play StarCraft or any other kind of APM intensive game, what I like to do is stretch. They're very, very important. So what you want to do is the basic stretches to avoid carpal tunnel. You just push your fingers backwards to make sure your wrist is nicely stretched. I'm not even joking about this. It's a thing. And then what you do is put your hand like this, push it as much as you can back before breaking it. Just do that in both hands. It kind of gets you in the mood. You stretch your hands a little bit, and they just feel nicer in general. So I'm gonna start the game, and I'm gonna tell you guys what you should be doing and how you should be working on your APM in order to improve it after the stretches are done. You can do some push-ups if you want to as well, even though they're not really gonna help with your APM. So the advice I always give to people that I coach is when I notice their APM is lower and they're like, I'm not playing fast enough and I can see that, I tell them this story of how to increase APM. And basically, you just need to spam a lot over weeks and months. And I'm going to pause for a second. So every time I tell people to spam in the game, they're like, how does that help me? It's a waste of time. And I've noticed on my videos, people always ask, why are you spamming? You're just doing mindless clicks. Why don't you just stop and click the only things that you need to click? And one good way to kind of compare that to real world is, for example, any sports player. If you're on the bench and you're waiting to go into play, you're not sitting down, crouched up like this and waiting to be called out to play. Now, before you go out to play, you warm up. You do like a little sprint. You stretch your legs, you stretch your arms. You gotta get warmed up before you get into the game. Spamming in StarCraft 2 early game is your warm-up for the rest of the game, and it sets you up for the rest of the game. A good example of this, if for the first couple of minutes you're playing at 50 APM and then game picks up, it's very hard to transition from 50 to 400 APM. It's much better to spam around 200-300 APM and slowly ease into the game as the game goes on, rather than just sit and not do anything and then suddenly start panicking, because you need to basically, like I said, warm up your hands, warm up your brain to hand coordination, and kind of just your muscle memory in general. This is why you see pro players spam every time. If you've ever watched any pro players stream StarCraft, they spam at the beginning of the game, and some people are very upset by it, but that's why they do it. So one thing I want to mention is this is how you do it properly. So I've seen people do this incorrectly, where they spam and they ruin their gameplay completely. So they spam and they're forgetting supply depots, they're forgetting barracks, they're forgetting Reaper to scout, whatever. What you should be doing is spam as much as you can before it interrupts your gameplay. So what I mean by that is, if you are, let's say, a completely new player, you're bronze, silver placements, whatever, I want you to spam for 10 seconds. If at 10 seconds you mess up your SCV production or pro production, or if you spam up until the point where you should make your supply depot pylon or overlord, and if by spamming you are unable to follow your build order, then stop. That's your cue to stop spamming and continue your gameplay. What will happen is, let's say you can only spam for 10 seconds, and then that messes up your gameplay afterwards. Over time, if you spam the first 10 seconds of every game, you will get that into your muscle memory, and it won't be like, okay, I need to spam. It will just be a thing you do at the beginning of each game. And by doing that enough times, it will allow you to extend how much you can spam before it interrupts your gameplay. I hope that makes sense. So basically what I mean is next.
Operation
You
commence.
start your game, you keybind your CC. Now what you should do is spam as much as you can. You need to get your fingers, you know, warmed up and kind of just to be able in general to spam faster. So pro players can spam super late into the game. It doesn't cause them to, you know, mess up any macro or micro. And if at this point, let's say you're still fine with spamming, you know, you can still keep going. It doesn't interrupt your gameplay. There's not much to do right now in the game. If the next thing you're supposed to do is make barracks and gas, and you can't do those while spamming, stop spamming, continue your build order normally, and then keep spamming until the next point where things get a little bit more complicated. So you can see I keep doing it. You keep another thing you'll see pro players do is they'll keep selecting stuff like this, and that also practices your unit selection. So maybe not the whole thing, but you know, selecting a couple of workers at a time. Sometimes you'll see people shuffle their command center between minerals like this, the rally point, to practice precision. But overall, you want to keep spamming until it interrupts your normal build order and your normal gameplay. I know this might sound silly, but this is how every pro player did it. This is how everyone does it. No one just, you know, plays at 50 APM and for no reason it increases. You have to work on it. It's a skill, being fast. There's an obvious difference between APM, which is your APM in the actions per minute, your APM in the game, how fast you're playing, and EPM, which is your effective actions per minute, or EAPM. Now, EPM is something completely different, and basically by spamming, you don't want to waste a lot of actions, but this guide is specifically for increasing your APM, and then EPM is how efficient you use those clicks later on in the game. Again, you're not supposed to spam just for the sake of spamming. It's for, you know, in order to increase your speed, and later on you should try to kind of use those clicks correctly and see and compare what you're doing compared to the pro players. Another thing I wanted to talk about, what I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this also applies for MOBA games. You can't just, you need, like in MOBA games, you need to be extremely quick sometimes with your mouse movement and just with your character to mouse coordination. So this also applies for StarCraft 2. Like if you have a drop or a hero in MOBA, for example, right here, you don't want to make clicks like this.
Gotcha.
Because what happens, there's a lot of room for error if you do that, and also if your mouse is right here and then you need to click all the way there, you're wasting a lot of time by moving your mouse all the way there. So what you will see pro MOBA players do, instead of moving like this, they'll be moving like this, constantly being able to redirect their hero or your medevac, dropship, whatever you're microing in StarCraft 2, for example, super quick. And instead of clicking all the way there and then wanting to move on this side, for example, let's say you send your unit here. If you need to move to the left, you need to go all the way here, and that's a lot of wasted movement. That's why when they play, they do it like this. Because your mouse is right there, you can change the direction super fast, and it's a lot easier on your hands as well. You don't want to get that carpal tunnel developed. From here on out, like I said, incorporate this into your gameplay, and the way it will affect your gameplay, you won't feel it after a day, you won't feel it after 2 days, you won't go, oh wow, I had 100 APM and now I have 300 APM. That's not how it goes. This takes months and months to practice, but what I suggest you guys to do this for a week. Check your, match history in StarCraft, look how much average APM you have, then collect the average APM from your next 7 days by doing this method, and I guarantee your APM will increase. Over time, you'll be able to spam more in the early game, which will overall increase your gameplay speed throughout the whole game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm not sure if anyone made videos on APM and how to increase it and how to work around it. Like I said, there's a difference between APM and EAPM, the effective APM, but this is just to help you guys increase your overall gaming speed. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, and let me know what kind of videos / guides you would like to see next. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and make sure to check out one of my previous videos. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a very nice day, and I'll see you guys next time.